The sun had just begun to set over the small village of Umakis, casting long shadows over the dusty roads. Children laughed and played near the river while mothers prepared the evening meal. The air smelled of roasted yams and fresh palm oil. But deep inside one of the huts, a woman named Adanna sat with her hands trembling, her heart heavy with fear. Her husband, Obidike, had not returned from the market, and something in her heart told her that trouble was near. Obidike was a strong man, a well-known farmer who sold the best yams in the village. He was never late. The sound of the crickets outside only made the silence in her hut more unbearable. Suddenly, the door swung open, and a young boy named Ike rushed in, panting heavily. "Mama Adanna! Mama Adanna," he called. Adanna's heart skipped. "What is it, Ike? Speak." Ike's eyes were wide with fear. I saw them take Papa Obidike. Men in black robes, they dragged him away into the forest." Adanna's breath caught in her throat. Who took him?" Ike shook his head. "I don't know, Mama. They looked like spirits. They didn't speak. They just took him." The room felt like it was spinning. Adanna clutched her chest. She knew the stories, tales of the shadow men who came at night, taking people away, never to be seen again. Some said they were the spirits of angry ancestors, others believed they were a secret cult. She grabbed a wrapper and tied it around her waist. "Where did they go?" she asked. Ike pointed towards the thick forest at the edge of the village. Adanna's hands trembled as she grabbed a lantern. She would not sit and wait. She would find her husband, no matter what dangers lay ahead. She stepped out into the night, her heart pounding in her chest. The night was dark, and the wind whispered through the trees like unseen spirits watching her every move. Adanna clutched her lantern tightly as she stepped into the forest, her bare feet sinking into the damp earth. The cries of distant owls echoed in the silence, but she did not turn back. "Ike, go home," she whispered. "No, Mama Adanna. I will not leave you alone," the boy insisted, his small fist clenched. Adanna sighed but did not argue. If the spirits had truly taken Obidike, she needed all the help she could get. They moved carefully through the trees, following the faint footprints in the soft ground. The deeper they went, the colder the air became. Then, suddenly, they saw it, a faint glow in the distance. A fire. And voices. Adanna held her breath and pulled Ike behind a tree. Peering through the leaves, she saw them, men dressed in black robes, their faces hidden. They stood in a circle, chanting in low voices. In the middle of them, tied to a wooden stake, was Obidike. Her heart pounded. What was this? A ritual. A sacrifice. She counted the men. 10 of them. Their robes flowed like shadows, making them look like ghosts. Obidike's face was bruised, his arms tied behind his back. But he was alive. Adanna knew she had to act fast. But how could she fight 10 men? Ike tugged on her wrapper. "Mama, I have an idea," he whispered. She bent low, listening. "Let's set fire to the trees behind them. It will scare them." Adanna hesitated. Fire was dangerous. But they had no choice. She nodded. "Quickly." I gathered dry leaves and sticks while Adanna struck 2 stones together, praying to the gods for a spark. The moment the fire caught, it spread fast. Flames climbed up the trees, crackling like 1,000 spirits laughing. The men turned in shock. "The forest is burning," one shouted. In the confusion, Adanna ran. She dashed towards Obidike, cutting his ropes with a sharp stone. He fell into her arms, weak but alive. "Can you run?" she asked breathlessly. He nodded, though his legs were shaking. Together, they ran, Ike at their side, disappearing into the shadows just as the fire roared behind them. The night air was thick with smoke as Adanna, Obidike, and Ike ran through the dark forest. The flames behind them crackled loudly, lighting up the trees like a second sun. Obidike stumbled, his legs weak from being tied up for so long, but Adanna held onto him tightly. Almost there, she whispered, her breath coming fast. Ike ran ahead, leading the way through the twisting paths. The fire had done its job, the men in black robes were too busy trying to put it out to chase them. But Adanna knew they were not safe yet. Whoever those men were, they had taken Obidike for a reason. They would come looking for him again. When they finally reached the edge of the village, they stopped to catch their breath. Obidike leaned against a tree, his chest rising and falling. Adanna touched his bruised face, her eyes filled with worry. "What did they want from you?" she asked. Obidike swallowed hard. "I don't know," he said. "They covered my head before I could see anything. But I heard them whispering something about a secret." "A secret?" Adanna's brows furrowed. Before Obidike could answer, a voice called out from the darkness. "Who goes there?" Adanna turned sharply, her heart racing. It was Iz, the village chief's guard. He held a spear in one hand, his eyes sharp and suspicious. "It's me, Adanna," she said quickly. "We need to see the chief." Iz frowned but did not argue. He led them through the quiet village, past sleeping huts and flickering oil lamps, to the chief's compound. Chief Okari was an old man with deep lines on his face. He sat outside, fanning himself with a large leaf. His eyes widened when he saw Obidike's wounds. "What happened?" he asked. Adanna told him everything, the men in black robes, the fire, the escape. Chief Okari listened in silence, his face growing darker with every word. When she finished, he let out a heavy sigh. "This is bad," he said. "Very bad." Obidike sat up. "Who are they, Chief? What do they want?" The chief leaned forward, his voice low. "They are the Brotherhood of the Black Moon," he said. "A secret group that has existed for generations. They believe in an ancient prophecy, one that speaks of a man who will bring either great fortune or great disaster to this land." Adanna felt a chill run through her. "And what does that have to do with Obidike?" Chief Okari's eyes met Obidike's. "Because, my son, they believe you are that man." Obidike's body stiffened. The words of the chief echoed in his mind. "I don't understand," he said. "What do they mean I am the man from the prophecy?" Chief Okari sighed deeply, his eyes filled with concern. "The prophecy speaks of a man born under the red moon, a man whose fate is tied to the land. He will either bring great wealth or great destruction to Umakis." Adanna swallowed hard. Obidike was born during the red moon. Obidike's mind raced. He had always known about the red moon on the night of his birth, but he never thought much of it. Now, it seemed like his whole life had been leading to this moment. "They think I will bring destruction?" he asked. The chief nodded. "Or wealth. But they do not know which. That is why they took you, to test you, to decide if they must kill you or make you their leader." A shiver ran down Adanna's spine. The thought of those men trying to decide Obidike's fate made her stomach twist. Obidike clenched his fist. "I will not let them control my fate." The chief gave him a long look. "Then you must prepare. They will come again. And next time, they will not let you escape." Adanna took Obidike's hand, her grip firm. "Then we must fight." Chief Okari nodded. "Yes. But you must be smart. We need to find out what they truly want." Silence filled the room as the weight of the situation settled upon them. The night was far from over, and danger lurked in the shadows. Obidike knew one thing for certain: his life would never be the same again. The next morning, the village buzzed with whispers. News of Obidike's escape had spread like wildfire. Some people were afraid. Others were curious. Why would the Brotherhood take him? Some villagers asked. What if the prophecy is true? Others murmured. Adanna ignored the gossip. She had more important things to do. If the Brotherhood wanted to test Obidike, then she needed to find out what their test was. She decided to speak with the oldest man in the village, Papa Udoka. He had seen many seasons, and if anyone knew the truth about the Brotherhood, it was him. She found him sitting outside his hut, chewing bitter kola. His wrinkled hands trembled slightly, but his eyes were sharp. Papa Udoka, Adanna greeted, kneeling before him. I need your wisdom. The old man looked at her. What troubles you, my child? She took a deep breath and explained everything, the kidnapping, the prophecy, the Brotherhood. Papa Udoka listened carefully, nodding slowly. When she finished, he sighed. The Brotherhood is older than this village, he said. Long ago, they were the protectors of Umakis. But over time, power corrupted them. Now, they are feared more than respected. Adanna's heart pounded. Then how do we stop them? Papa Udoka shook his head. Stopping them will not be easy. But if Obidike is the man of the prophecy, then he must discover the truth himself. Adanna frowned. What truth? The old man's eyes darkened. The truth about his bloodline. Adanna gasped. His bloodline. Papa Udoka nodded. There is something hidden in his past. Something the Brotherhood knows. And until he finds it, they will not stop hunting him. Adanna's hands trembled. If there was a secret in Obidike's past, they had to uncover it, before the Brotherhood did. Obidike sat outside his hut, staring at the rising sun. His mind was troubled. The words of Chief Okori and Papa Udoka filled his thoughts. A secret in his past. What could it be? He had always believed he was just a simple farmer, a man who worked hard to feed his family. But now, everything had changed. As he sat in deep thought, a shadow fell over him. He looked up to see a young man standing before him. It was Nana, his childhood friend. But there was something strange in his eyes. Obidike, Nana said, his voice low. We need to talk. Obidike frowned. What is it? Nana glanced around, making sure no one was listening. Then he leaned closer. The Brotherhood did not take you by accident, he whispered. They have been watching you for years. Obidike's heart pounded. Why? Nana hesitated. Then he said something that made Obidike's blood run cold. Because your father was once one of them. Obidike's breath caught in his throat. That's a lie. Nana shook his head. It's the truth. Your father was one of the Brotherhood's leaders. But he betrayed them, and they never forgave him. Obidike's hands clenched into fists. His father had died when he was a child. He had always believed he was an honorable man. Could it be true? Nana placed a hand on his shoulder. You need to find out the truth, Obidike. Before it's too late. Obidike felt his world spinning. Everything he thought he knew was a lie. And now, the Brotherhood was coming for him, not just because of the prophecy, but because of his father's past. The truth was out there. And he had no choice but to find it. The village was quiet that night, but Obidike's mind was restless. He lay beside Adanna, staring at the ceiling, his heart heavy with questions. If his father had truly been part of the Brotherhood, what did that mean for him? Was he destined to follow in his footsteps? Or was he destined to destroy them? Sleep did not come easily. And when it finally did, it brought him a dream, one so vivid, so real, that he woke up gasping for breath. He saw a cave. A hidden place deep within the forest. Inside the cave, there was a chest, covered in dust and cobwebs. And inside the chest, something was waiting for him. Something that held the answers. Obidike sat up, his body covered in sweat. The dream felt like a message, a call to action. He had to find that cave. Because whatever was inside it, the Brotherhood wanted it too. And they would kill to get it first. The journey into the forest was not an easy one. The path was overgrown with thick bushes, and the deeper they went, the more the trees seemed to whisper secrets in the wind. Obidike walked ahead, leading the way. Adanna followed closely behind, her eyes darting around for danger. They were not alone. The Brotherhood was watching. Waiting. And soon, they would strike. To be continued. This story is just getting started. What will Obidike find in the hidden cave? What secrets lie in his bloodline? And will he escape the Brotherhood's deadly grip? Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next thrilling part of this story. Like, share, and leave a comment if you want to see what happens next. Your support keeps these incredible stories alive. Lessons from the story. Justice will always find its way. The wicked were punished for their actions. Hope gives strength. Even in danger, Obidike and Adanna never gave up. I hope you enjoyed the story. If so, kindly comment, like, and share more. So, let us know what you learned from the story. Please do not hesitate to subscribe for more interesting stories like so. Hope to see back. Bye.